What is going on, my people? How y'all guys doing? Welcome to another edition of You Guessed It, All American Sports. If it's your first time tuning into the broadcast, do me a favor. Go ahead on and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell up top. Please like and share. Please like and share. Shout out to my one of my huge fans of my other channel, Laura. Thank you for being here for support. And I knew who you were, Laura. Believe me. Uh, so today we're going to get into some things on the front. We're going to talk about some major upsets that has happened recently in the NCAA. We're going to talk about Iowa losing to Purdue. I've told everybody time and time again. I was talking to some of my friends. I didn't say it too much on this channel, but I was talking to my friends in general. I said that I felt like that Iowa was not that team. I still don't think they're that team, so that's why I'm not surprised at the upset. I'm also going to talk about my team, Georgia. You know I'm a Georgia fan, what they did, how they're doing, what I expect for them to do for the rest of the season. We will also be talking about what is going on with Alabama, because you know Alabama took a huge L. I mean, they took a huge L, and everything else. I'm about to tell you that final score was nasty. It was 30 something to 14. I'm about to go ahead on. And guys, follow my channel now. I got shorts where I will be providing scores for everything. So whenever I can't get to the channel and broadcast, you'll know what's going on. So enough of that pre-talk. Let's get into this channel. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's going on. Let y'all feel the energy. And by the way, today is my anniversary. I wanted to share this day with y'all as well. It was also the day that I also got myself together and became clean. So please, guys, I'm just thankful to God that I'm not the same guy I used to be, because my wife has done everything she possibly can. So I'm going to talk about certain games, and I'm going to talk about certain news on NCAA college football. I'm not going to take all day on that because I know there's a lot we got to cover in a short time to do it. Again, shout out to the crew. Shout out to everybody that's following me today. I appreciate y'all tremendously. Oh, yeah, y'all basketball is usually on fire. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now, this ain't my marriage anniversary. This is the actual anniversary that I took my wife on her first date, and we like really started kicking it. So it's a very special day to me. October the 17th was a very life-changing experience. So let's jump into the Kentucky and Georgia game, 30-13. Now, guys, I've said it time and time again that Georgia is the team to beat this year. People still thinking that I'm playing games with this. Georgia is the team to beat. I mean, uh, the coach over there, Rector, ain't playing. He's not playing this year. I mean, Kirby Smart. I don't know why I said Rich Rector. That was Rich Rector's at the other one. Kirby Smart is not playing this year. He's not. Smart wants a team. He is tired of hearing Alabama always the top dog. Yeah, y'all did. Y'all did beat Florida. So let's jump into this. Let's talk about it. So the final seconds was meaningless except to the Georgia defense, because the first time this season, they allowed a team to get two touchdowns. Okay, but they still did not let Kentucky get any further, but just that. Now, Stetson Bennett started his third straight game in the place of injured JT Daniels, threw for 250 yards and 3 touchdown passes. 2 of them to freshman tight end Brock Bowers. And I want y'all to understand something. The guys that are replacing the guys that are injured on the Georgia team are 4-star or 5-star recruits. So he's doing like Alabama, filling in the slots. Filling in the slots. Now, in the game being decided, it drove to a first down at the Georgia 1 in the final minute. Now, Will Levis was stuffed on a quarterback sneak. Juton McClain was stopped for no gain. Instead of letting the clock run out, the Wildcats called their final timeout. Finally, they scored. Levis delivered a quick slant to Wandale Robinson, who drove into the end zone with 4 seconds remaining, while what was left of the crowd at Sanford Stadium booed loudly. Georgia's defense has given up only 2 touchdowns all season. So, what is it now? What are we looking at now? What are we looking at from here? Now, the Wildcats are building a top-tier program because they're 6-1. So don't take that away, you UK fans. Y'all still doing very well. And they could take some solace for scoring their first touchdown against Georgia since 2018. But they still have a ways to go to compete against the Georgia Bulldogs, who have won 12 straight in the one-sided series. Georgia, we got plenty of confidence in Bennett. The Bulldogs were able to give Daniels 2 more weeks of rest before their next game. That should ensure he is fully recovered from the lat muscle injury. Shout out to the young man, Bennett. Bennett is in here to win it, okay? Bennett says, I'm not that dude. I'm not going to sit here and act like I can't get it done. See, that's what every college needs. Every college team needs. When the star goes down, there's someone that can do the job. He might not be the star or powerful as the superstar, but he can get the job done. You always want that second best. And right now, Stetson is that second best. We cannot act like we don't understand this. Now, what has happened with the poll with Georgia? So Georgia was number 1 this week. And that is the first time since 2008 preseason poll. That year, their opening game, they won the opening game, but they didn't have a lackluster performance and slipped them to number 2. And y'all know how that is. No chance that's happening this time because Georgia was a unanimous choice for the top spot and will likely keep all those votes going into next week because Georgia is that team. I keep telling people Georgia is that team. The defense is sick. If we can keep the defense up with the pressure we got going on in the league, we have nothing to worry about to make this happen. Now, the NCAA marks is stretched back to 2014 and involves 6 kickers: Marshall Morgan, Patrick Vilas, William Ham, David Marvin, Roggio Blankenship, and Palenci, who have been perfect on 71 point attempts before his miss. Yeah, that happens. But, now Kentucky will go into Mississippi State, be a good win for them. That's going to be an easy pickup. The Bulldogs will have the week off because both teams, Kentucky and Georgia, will have the week off next week. And guess who we get to whoop up on for the 30th of October, baby? You guessed it, Florida. Sorry, Florida Gators, but y'all are going to get demolished. That's just what it is. Just being real with you. You're not going to be able to handle the defense. I mean, you can play your best game. You can do all the things you normally do, but it ain't going to work. So, now, since I made that clear, so I don't break any Florida Gators' heart, not being one-sided, just being real, let's go back to the rest of the scores that was an upset. We're going to go and visit Purdue versus Iowa. Now, this was, to me, was not shocking. A lot of shocking to a lot of other people, but was not a shock to me. And I'm going to tell you why I say it's not a shock. Because I think that a lot of people got to understand something about Purdue. Purdue has always been Iowa's kryptonite. I don't know why, but they have. I don't know what it is about Purdue. It's like when Iowa gets involved with playing against them, they I don't know. But maybe it's just me. But I mean that's what I've always observed. If you're just coming in, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell up top. Please like and share. Share, please like and share. God Almighty, please like and share. I'm loving the love we getting on this channel. We're trying to build it from the ground up. Hopefully, we will be successful with this sports channel because that's what it's about. It's about getting everybody engaged and loving every moment of it. Now let's go and flip on back here to the Iowa and Purdue game. Guys, that game to me, like I said before, the Iowa-Purdue game, I was not shocked. A lot of people were, but I was not. I told people that I saw this coming. Nothing against Iowa, and I'm going to tell you why as I break this game down. They said it was a stunner. It wasn't a stunner to me. Purdue wide receiver David Bell continued dominance over number 2 Iowa with stunning upset win. What I said, that wide receiver, y'all got to understand something. In the game of football, if you got a wide receiver that can go out here and outmaneuver the safety, he can read the routes, he can always beat people to the routes. Man, let me tell you something. You got somebody that is a dangerous, like real talk. That guy is straight dangerous. Ain't no way you gonna beat that guy. No damn way. And this has been a problem for a lot of people going against wide receivers, especially in college, that are talented like this. Now let's go and break it down about David Bell. All right. Now, Aiden O'Connell threw for 375 yards and accounted for 3 touchdowns. David Bell had a career best of 240 receiving yards, and Purdue continued its recent mastery. Number 2, Iowa, with a 24-7 upset Saturday. The Boilermakers have won 4 of their past 5 games against the Hawkeyes. The loss ended Iowa's 12-game winning streak. What did I tell y'all? I don't know what it is about Purdue. It's like when Iowa go against those guys, they forget everything. I don't know if it's because they in their head or what it is. But almost all the meetings, Iowa flakes with Purdue. And I think it's because Purdue got their number. You know, you got some rival teams out there. You could be leading the board, but if they got your number, they got your number, man. I mean, that's just sad to say. Purdue beats his highest-ranked opponent on the road since a victory at number 2 Notre Dame in 1974. It was the second time in 4 seasons Purdue has knocked off a number 2 ranked team. The Boilermakers won at home against the second-ranked Ohio State in 2018. Like I said before, Purdue know those guys' number over there. Basically, they outdid us in every category. Our coach, Kirk French, said the bottom line is we didn't get it done. You didn't. O'Connell was 30 of 40 passing with 2 touchdowns, and he also ran for a score. He got the most work of a day when Purdue used backup quarterbacks Jack Plummer and Austin Burton in select situations. Let me tell y'all something. When a team goes out here and start using backups, when they start using backup quarterbacks, backup receivers, things of that nature while in the middle of the game, that's just letting you know they are not intimidated by you. They're not. You are nothing but a joke to them. That should be a disgrace. when you're using backups against you because they're that comfortable because there is such a lead, man, this right here is bad, boy. This ain't good at all. I mean, like I said before, this gonna hurt Purdue. It is. It's gonna hurt Purdue because Purdue was number 2. This may put them down to number 6. I know they out the top. They're down to number 6 probably now, either 6 or 7. Bell had 11 receptions. He had a combined 37 catches for 558 yards and 5 touchdowns against Iowa in 3 seasons. I think the reason he's been able to exploit them is he's one of the best receivers in the country. O'Connell said that Bell is so destructive of a player for a defense. Bell didn't know how many yards he had until he heard it from his mother after the game. It was definitely nice hearing it from her, said Bell, who set a stadium record with his receiving yards. Iowa's offense was ineffective against Purdue, which came in 3rd in the Big Ten in total defense and scoring defense. The Hawkeyes' only score was a 3-yard touchdown run by Ivory Kelly Martin in the second quarter, and Iowa had just 271 yards of offense. They made it tough for us. Damn. So now Iowa trailed 7-0 after the first quarter. The Hawkeyes has been outscored 41-29 in first quarters this season, including 28-6 the first past 3 games. What is the implications on the poll? Now the Hawkeyes, who had their highest rank since 1985 after last week's 23-20 win over Penn State, should take a big fall in the rankings this week. Iowa has been in the top 10 since the second week of the season. Here's the big picture. It was an uncharacteristic performance by Iowa defense, which gave up the most passing yards since 2016 and most total yards at home since 2012. Now the Hawkeyes face back-to-back road games against Wisconsin and Northwestern. Iowa has lost 7 of his last 9 games to Wisconsin and 4 of his last to Northwestern. Purdue's offense showed some life. The Boilermakers have scored 13 points in each of the last 3 games, and Bell's 240 receiving yards were second most by an FBS player this season. Now, y'all got to remember, Purdue is a small school, all right? Now, Purdue get Wisconsin on the 23rd, and Iowa visit Wisconsin on the 30th. But I think they take a week off. Guys, listen, they drop it. All right, when you second place and you lose to an unranked team, you're going towards at minimum 7. Minimum 7. I would say at the most, maybe at a 10 spot. Now, who's going to move up to second now is going to be Alabama and the next guys that won. Alabama did do good on an unranked team, but this was not supposed to happen. When you are number 2 team, you are not supposed to lose to an unranked opponent like Purdue. Purdue is 4-2. Purdue ain't even on the radar. Now, what this going to do for Purdue, this will probably put Purdue in the polls. This will probably put Purdue in the polls, this win here. This was a major win. This might put Purdue somewhere in the ballpark between 23, 24-ish. I don't know. But I do know that Iowa is dropped. And then Iowa's got to face 2 more opponents that they're not good at. Oh, they know they got their ass chewed. 2 more opponents that they're not good at. So what does that mean? That means that if those opponents whips them, they can forget themselves ever going to the national championship this year. To be in the running, they're going to have to win every game from here on out. They cannot lose at all. They got to outperform like a mug. Because I'm telling you now, Alabama's going to make sure they go to the championship playoffs. They're not going to make it. I don't see Iowa making it. I don't see Iowa going to the playoffs. Because when you lose to Purdue like that, shit, you're not going to the playoffs, man. It ain't happening. Sorry. Try again next year. We'll see you later. All right, let's see some more upsets that's happened that everybody's been talking about. Y'all keep hitting that smashing that like button. Keep smashing that like button. So Auburn beat a ranked team. I'm gonna get to the rest of these scores now. So let me go right here to NFL, NCAA, and give out the rest of these scores, and then we're gonna move on to the NFL, the news over there. So the rest of the scores that we did not talk about: California against Oregon. California visit Oregon, and Oregon held it down 17 to 24. Oregon won. Oregon's top player was Travis Dye, who rushed it for 19 carries, 145 yards, 1 touchdown. California's top performance was their quarterback, 25 yards completed out of 43, 247 yards. He did 2 touchdown passes. And Jeremiah Hunter for California had 3 receptions and 78 yards. Now, we're going to get on to San Diego and San Jose State. This involved in being in overtime. San Diego State won 19 to 13. So they should still stay in the polls. Their top performer for San Diego didn't have no top performer, but San Jose State had a top performance. Their players did a real good job, but they just couldn't get the job done. Now, UCF against Cincinnati. Y'all know Cincinnati hold it down 56 to 21. Cincinnati top guy was Jerome Ford, 20 carries, 189 yards, 4 touchdowns. You know this is a running team. This is what they do. So no shock there. Then you got Oklahoma against TCU, 31 to 52. So TCU came there and got their behind toe up. And let me tell y'all this. The top guy in TCU was 2 guys. Max Dugan, the quarterback, had 20 completions out of 30 passes, 346 yards and 4 touchdowns. And his favorite target was Quentin Johnston, who got 7 receptions, 185 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now, the other game that everybody talked about, no surprise here, Alabama against Mississippi State. You know how Nick Saban is after he done gotten that ass over the weekend. You know that these guys was coming for a vengeance, and that vengeance were nothing to play with. Okay? And let's talk about that vengeance. That vengeance, man, is nothing to play with at all. When you go to somebody's home and beat them 49 to 9. Shout out to Bryce Young, the quarterback, 20 completions out of 28 pass attempts, 348 yards, 4 touchdowns. Then you had Rodell Williams had 11 carries, 78 yards, and John Minchie III had 7 receptions, 117 yards. Now, as we move on to Michigan State, it did their thing, still at number 10. Went to Indiana 20 to 15. It was a little rocky performance that they pulled it off. Shout out to their Russian Kenneth Walker III, who had 23 carries, 84 yards, and their receiver Jaden Reed with 4 receptions and 70 yards. Oklahoma State versus Texas. Oklahoma State represented like always. They still 6-0, number 12 in the league. Still holding on to that record. For Texas, they had their quarterback and receiver on the same page. Out of 27 passes, Casey did 15 completions of them as quarterback, 179 yards, 1 touchdown, and Marcus Washington had 2 receptions and 60 yards. Ole Miss went to Tennessee and wreaked havoc. Ole Miss now is 5-1. Let's just say this time Ole Miss made sure that the first half was going to be a half where Tennessee would have to play catch up, which they didn't do so well on. Shout out to Ole Miss, who had a guy that was on his feet the whole time with 30 carries, 195 yards. We also got Auburn are still in the hunt to get into the lineup for in the polls. They actually had Bo Nix as quarterback, 26 attempted passes, 21 completed, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not to mention Treylon Burks, who was his favorite target. That was the receiver, had 9 receptions, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Arizona State went over to Utah, and Utah told them, you can go home now after the 21-35 win. In Utah, there was the quarterback and the either running back or fullback, whoever that was running, was doing their thing. Cameron Rising, the quarterback, had 33 attempts, 21 completions, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Tavion Thomas had 20 carries, 84 yards, and 1 touchdown. And final for yesterday was BYU went over to Baylor, and Baylor spanked that behind. I don't know why Baylor's not a nominated team yet, but Baylor had Abram Smith doing 27 carries and 188 yards. Then we have Florida against LSU. Once again, LSU came out victorious, leaving both of them now 4-3. Like I said, I don't see Florida being back in the hunt for any playoffs at this point. Yeah, I mean they'll probably get a bowl maybe, but not in the playoffs. And let's just put it to you this way: LSU, Tyron Davis Price at 36 carries, 287 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Well, Texas A&M showed up to Missouri, spanked them, and went back to the house. Isaiah Spiller had 20 carries, 168 yards, and 1 touchdown. And finally, North Carolina State, number 22, went to visit Boston College, spanked them, and went right back to the house. They had 24 attempted passes, 16 completed, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns. And Thea Thomas had 4 receptions, 122 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, guys, this was really good to see. Now, I'm going to see if the rankings came out yet for NCAA, but this is interesting. Yeah, man, Texas getting a behind cut. So let's talk about what they're saying now. Now they're saying that because Purdue lost, this hurts. It really does. So here's the thing: people saying that even if Georgia go against Alabama and lose, which I know we're not gonna lose because we are thirsty and we want it with the playoff game, we can still wind up being in the top 4. Let me see something here. I don't think this is it. Hold on, y'all. Laura, I don't think I can do wrenches on here. Hold on. I don't know if I can do wrenches on here. Let me see what I can do, Laura. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Trying to get into my ESPN Plus. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm going to log into my passwords. Because I got so many passwords, I don't know where they at. Hold on. All right, I'll have to take it off my phone. I don't know what's going on. I have to get off my phone. So, because it's trying to get me to repurchase, and I'm not repurchasing when I know I have the account.
I'll get running water and stuff.
All right, so I got it. So why is it not letting me? Yeah, I know I got it. I'm like, yeah, I got the subscription. All right, so let me go back on here, guys. Hold on. All right, I had to rephrase it. Let me do my thing now. All right, it's trying to make me do a year. I'm not doing no year. All right. I just read off my phone. I read off my phone. I read it off my phone. I keep it right here and read it off my phone. As I'm not doing that. They have lost their mind. I done went, they made me mess up my game. All right, we're back. I don't know what's ESPN tripping. Definitely tripping. All right, let's see. ESPN. Top headlines. All right, guys, I got it now. So as I was saying, with Georgia, so Georgia is clearly going to be on top. Now the Buckeyes going to need to run the table and win the Big Ten. Now they lost to Oregon, but it can be overcome. Now they got to look at Ohio State. All right, and they got to look at their opponents that they got to go through because they got some tough teams. Now their biggest obstacle is simply surviving the second half of the season because we about to hit the second half. And they're going to have an undefeated season in a 2-loss Alabama to have any hope of jumping into that playoffs. What else we got? The Cincinnati. We talked about them. Oklahoma Sooners. They got to beat Nebraska, Tulane, and Western Carolina. And then they got to win against Notre Dame on the road. But they got to manage their new quarterback freshman, Caleb Williams. And Spencer and how Spencer Rattler going to handle that. They got to also, Alabama got to win the SEC. And they got to have themselves ready for possibly a 2-loss. And so everybody's got to beat Georgia. So to get to Georgia, everybody got to show they can beat Georgia. I just don't see they having it this year. I really don't. Let's see what other news we got. I just don't, man. I don't see it. So that's about it. We're going to move right along to the next topic, which is the NFL. Y'all know y'all excited. And y'all, breaking news, breaking news. The Jaguars has won their first game. They won their first game. Hold on. Look at this. They won their first game. Whoa. Let's visit this real quick on the breakdown of how they won against Miami. Oh man. Now before I jump this, Miami is not no oh my god team. But at least these guys were able to get something accomplished. So Trevor Lawrence had 41 attempted passes and completed 25 of them. He had a 319 yard, one touchdown. Tagovailoa is 33 of 47 out of 47 attempts, 33 completions, 329 yards, two touchdowns, and one interception. 73 yards for Robinson, 5 carries, 24 yards for Brown. Receiving was M. Jones Jr. with 100 and one touchdown. Geiske had 8 receptions, 115 yards. Guys, this is shocking, man. I never thought I'd see today that Jax would win by a field goal. Whoa. I know they're happy. Congratulations, Jax. I know it took you damn near 6 weeks to do it. Now maybe they can build on that and actually get some stuff rolling. But yeah, Jaguar has won its first game of the season. Is this going to be their only game they win? I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. All right, let's keep going on about news. So, what we need to know about week 6 today. So, we already talked about Jags won the Miami Dolphins. Chargers versus the Raiders. I'm going with the Ravens on this. Then we got the Chiefs versus Washington. Guys, listen. Kansas Chiefs got to win this game. If they let Washington beat them here, Pat Mahomes can actually say he hit the wall before he even got started. That's just facts. So hopefully the Chiefs will recover, win this game, and get back on track. Vikings against the Panthers. People are saying Minnesota. I'm going with the Panthers on this. The Panthers are playing with purpose. I give them a shot. The Rams versus the Giants. Y'all know who's gonna win that. It's the Rams. It's gonna be a demolishing. Ugh. I don't want to talk about it. That's how bad it's gonna be. Packers versus the Bears. I'm Aaron Rodgers all day. Aaron Rodgers is trying to prove to people he ain't burnt out. So I'm with y'all on this. So I'm with y'all on this here. The Packers is going to win against the Bears. Did y'all hear me with my other with the other scores? Let's see if y'all heard me on the other scores because I was going so fast. All right. Now, getting back to what I was saying, make sure y'all can hear me. Let's see. Panthers, Vikings, Rams. Texans versus the Colts. Oh, man. They say Indiana. I don't care on this one. It's easy to me. But I'll go with the Colts. I think the Colts got Texans on this. Bengals against the line. Bengals better win. Cardinals against the Browns. They said Cleveland. I'm going with the Cardinals. Cardinals playing with purpose. Cowboys versus the Patriots. Patriots ain't the team they used to be, so I'm going with the Cowboys. Raiders at Broncos. I'm going with Denver. Definitely with Denver. Seahawks at Steelers. I'm going with the Seahawks. Bills at Titans. Y'all know the Bills. Buffalo Bills is hot right now. They're burning up the scene. So shout out to everybody on that note. Let's see if there's any NFL news we need to discuss. Yep. So let's see what else we can get into. So let's look at Major League Baseball. Y'all, let me tell y'all, the Braves are leading 1-0. The Braves are really playing ball, guys. They really are. They're playing ball like never before. Now, they led 3-2. They're 1-0 in the league right now. So, shout out. Anyway, that's what it is, guys. Now, what I think on the baseball tip on this is that I think that the Braves could take it all the way. The Braves has really been putting in the work this season, trying to show people they are dedicated into making this a real affair. So I really hope they do. Like on the bottom of my heart, I hope they do. So go Braves. Then we got the Red Sox. That's right, all you Boston Red Sox fans. Boston Red Sox hit 2 grand slams in the first 2 innings en route to the American League Championship Series. They won 9-5 over the Houston Astros. The Red Sox started the offense pile on in the first inning after a Kyle Schreiber double in back-to-back walks to Rafael Devers and Alex Vertigo, and JD Martinez hit a home run off Houston starter Luis Garcia over the right field fence. That put Boston 4-0. Y'all, that's sad, man. When they up like that, you knew that was going to happen. Bam. So shout out to Boston Red Sox. Hopefully they'll live through this process and make it. All right, guys. We're going to head on past this and let's see what else we got in news. Let's talk about the NBA here. NBA. So on the NBA, we got some players that do not want to play right now with their teams. Now, first things first, we're going to talk about Ben Simmons. You know, Ben Simmons has been an outspoken person about how he does not feel the love with Philadelphia, and he wanted to leave. And then, when he found out they were going to start taking money from him, he did report it to the facility. Now he's reconditioning to play for the team for the rest of the year. Now, here's my thing about that whole situation. I really do believe that, that Philadelphia should just go ahead on and move. I know I'm getting tired, man. I got up early this morning. They need to go ahead on and move past Ben Simmons. Ben don't want to be there. Trade Ben. In fact, they got a trade right now they can set up. Ben can go to the Brooklyn Nets. Put Ben Simmons on the Brooklyn Nets. Get Kyrie Irving over there to where y'all guys at. In Philadelphia. It's a win-win. But I don't think nobody wants to touch Kyrie, which I'll be talking about that in a sec. But yeah, man. Ben Simmons is still disgruntled. Still awkward. Now, people are saying is they're concerned for LeBron James, that's what I call him, and his 0-6 start. Yeah, there's a concern there, guys. I talked about this to a lot of people. Yeah, I know a lot of people say it's preseason. That don't count. You're right. It don't count. It's just preseason. But what does count is that you are 0-6 in preseason. You didn't win not one damn game. Not one. And then you about to start the season off, and people really gonna start playing. Where do y'all go from here? How confident can y'all say y'all gonna win it all? Now, here's my thing. So they said that out of the whole thing, LeBron James only played 17 minutes all on the floor. All right. But here's my thing. If you're in preseason and you want to show dominance, that you're not old, you're not fatigued, you're ready to play, you should have had LeBron play his normal minutes. I don't see it working out. I don't. Here's why I don't see it working out. Everybody keeps saying that we see the Lakers as contenders this year. No, I don't. And let me tell you, first of all, the average guy on that roster is old as shit. LeBron didn't get no young faces. He got nothing but veterans that are old veterans, guys that market value is shit. I just don't see it. I don't see it being that type of, oh my God, we're going to make it. I don't see it. They may make it to the playoffs, but that's about it. All right, let's go on to some more news here. Lots to unpack. We're going to talk about Zion Williams' foot injury. Something that nobody wants to talk about. Okay, so let's talk about his foot injury. So Zion Williams recently came out exactly, Laura. You're right. A lot of them don't. So let's talk about Zion Williams. So Zion Williams is supposed to be one of the newest recruits that's in the building, right? All right. So Zion got injured over the season. Some speculate that the facility knew he got injured or heard about the injury, but didn't think it was as severe. Well, either way it goes, whatever a doctor he went and seen, he went on the low behind their back and got the foot surgery to correct it. And at first they said he was gonna be out, just a couple of weeks or whatever. Couldn't find out he's out more than the weeks he said he was. So people are starting to speculate that they're looking at Zion not taking a rookie contract and leaving and heading to the hills from New Orleans because of the poor decisions New Orleans has made with their players. Yeah, I see it too. Let me tell y'all something, okay, about the NBA. All right, these players now want to be in a place where they can be marketable and where if they're the leader or they're the star like Zion Williams is. Zion is a very unique player. This kid is 6'6". Yes, he's over 200 something pounds. I think it's at his heaviest he was at 250, 265, something like that. He's a big boy, but he's all muscle. But he knows how to play the game. He knows how to get inside of the paint. He's different. He's not a three-point shooter. I mean, he shoots perimeter pretty good, but he's not a perimeter player. He's a inside get it done type of guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if you're that physical and you know that this is who you're building the team around, there's a lot of things that they did not include this man in. They didn't ask him, hey, Zion, what's your input about keeping Lonzo Ball? How is the chemistry there? This, that, and the third. No, they just don't consult with him, change things around. And then when he do try to talk to them, the owner's trying to, I think it was either the owner or the basketball operations trying to play a piano for him. Bro, why are you playing a piano for a grown man? He's a grown man. That is very suspect. I know if you play me a piano, I'm walking out. I don't care who you are. If you're a man trying to play me a piano, tomorrow, yeah, let's sit down and let me play you a little few of tunes. Nah, bro, I'm good. I don't want to hear no tunes. I'm not no A&R guy. I ain't none of that. I just want to know what can you do to provide for me to play the game. It's all I need you to do. What do I have to do to get you to understand the tools I need? So, but they don't do that, man. They don't do that at all. And now they want to know why this kid is being selected. Now, we're going to talk about Kyrie Irving's address about the vaccine. Okay, and then I'll tell you what I feel like that should have been said.
In here, it's savings on a wide range of top-rated appliances. Out there, it's fresh towels and fresher flavors. Come in and save, or choose free delivery and flexible installation and let the savings come to you. Save big on the Samsung Kitchen Package at the Home Depot.
You know, I had to stop running away from using my voice and using my platform to, speak on what's true and what's mine. You know, nobody's going to hijack my voice. Nobody's going to take the power away from me that I have for speaking on these things, and don't believe that I'm retiring. Don't believe that, I'm going to give up this game for a vaccine mandate or staying unvaccinated. Don't believe any of that, man. Like really be aware of what's being said before I even get a chance to be on the podium and speak for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like all these people saying all these things about what's going on with me, and it's just not true. Pay attention to what's going on out in the real world. You know, people are losing their jobs to these mandates. People are having to make choices with their own lives, which I respect. And I don't want to sit here and play on people's emotions either. Just use logic. What would you do? If you felt uncomfortable going into the season when you were promised that you would have exemptions or that you didn't have to be forced to get the vaccine. This wasn't an issue before the season started. This wasn't something that I foresaw coming, where I prepared for it. And, I had a chance to strategize on what was going to be best for me and my family. I came into the season thinking that I was just going to be able to play ball, be able to use my talent to continue to, inspire, influence people in the right way. Like putting this on me is just like, why are you putting it on me? This is not part of, what's going on in conversations with scientists, physicians, and doctors. I'm just a hooper, right? Like I'm just a person, who's being utilized as an example. For some odd reason, people love to have my name in the mix of just some BS. Like just hearing the way people speak with so much conviction about what I should be doing with my life and what, my teammates should be feeling about me, what the organization be feeling about me.
All right, so tell what y'all heard about that. When I first heard about Kyrie's situation and everything else, y'all know how I feel. My main followers know that, and I don't lie about it. I'm very conservative. Okay, I'm a conservative analyst, but when I come over here, I try my best to be very in between, like a libertarian type of mind frame. Okay, if you say so to speak, when it comes to sports issues, kind of hard, but it is what it is. Here's my thing. I understand where everybody is coming from on the team perspective. Okay, yes, Kyrie Irving is supposed to be thinking about his team. He is supposed to be in the gym, supposed to be focused on getting the championship. He is supposed to be doing this, that, and the third to make everybody click. But then here comes the real stuff, the stuff that nobody's not paying attention to. What Kyrie is saying, like Stephen A. Smith. Because to me, Stephen A. Smith is a bandwagon guy. I don't respect bandwagon journalists or bloggers. Don't be a bandwagon. Be your own man. And I know why he's a bandwagon guy, a company guy, because he got to make sure his bread is straight. He already says that every time he talks about it. Me, I'm my own man. I'm my own boss. I don't work for no company. If I blow up today or tomorrow with this YouTube thing, I'm working for me. Okay, I'm doing this. I'm bringing the commentary. What Kyrie is saying is he was not forced to do this. He was told nobody was going to be forced. Nobody was going to not force him. All he had to do was show in the work and do his thing. So if somebody tell you we're not forcing you, all you got to do is play, you're going to be like, all right, cool. I will go up here and do my job. All right, Kyrie is ready to go and start training camp, doing the things he needs to do. And then he gets sprung with, oh, yeah, by the way, guys, because of these certain mandates in the city of Brooklyn, New York, and all you players that plays there, you're going to have to get the jab or you can't play at home game. That's a lot to spring on a guy who was told that take your sweet time, you ain't got to take it right now and everything else. And it's not only just happening to him, it's happening to a lot of Americans in the country. That's what he was saying. Now, when he busts out and said the following to everybody, I'm not doing this for attention. Now, y'all got to remember, this is the same guy who took off last year during all riots and this, that, and the third with BLM and social injustices and stuff. He took a personal day off. He kneeled. He was a hero. But as soon as he go against the norms because he doesn't feel comfortable, now he's a traitor. Now he's selfish. How is he selfish? When his teammates are supporting him and saying, we understand. This is your body. This is your choice. How is he selfish? Selfish would be he would hurry up and get the jab and not care about anything and focus on $17 million. It seems like to me he's not selfish. The way Kyrie Irving moves and do the things he do. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold on for 1 second. I mean, the way he moves, the way he do things, there's a good chance that he already done told him, if you try to trade me, I will retire. Now, he also went on IG and said that he doesn't want to retire. He loves the game of basketball. He's not wanting to quit. But what he's saying is, why can't people respect the fact that I don't want to do this right now? I don't want to get jabbed. Now, I hate to tell Kyrie, but that's probably what it's going to come down to, because New York is going to trade him. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They're going to trade him. And if they trade him, he's probably going to walk away. And like he said, I'm not doing this for the money, for attention and money. And he's right. Because if he was doing this for money, guys, if he was doing this for attention, and they would have told him we taking $17 million away from you for the season, he would have went in, bucked in, and did what he had to do. Now, there was some guys that stood, I think it was not Jonathan Beasley, but it was another dude that stood his ground for a while. But they threatened to take his salary, and he said he got people depend on him, so he had to take the jab. Y'all, listen. This is what it's coming down to in America. We're getting forced to do things that we ain't supposed to do, don't want to do, and it's sad. Now, here's my thing as well, and I got to see this, I got to show this, I got to talk about this, and keep it 3,000. So we're not going to let this guy play the game of basketball because he didn't get the jab and the mandates going on in all of these major cities, especially West Coast. Canada saying you could get fined if you walk out unquarantined and all this. But yet we allow Magic Johnson to play basketball while having HIV. Let's see how long did Magic Johnson playing basketball with HIV. Because this is about to really be real. I'm about to get real about this because I want to show y'all the double standard of today that's been there for years. Now they say they want a winning season. They want excitement, but they can't even go out here and let this man play. Oh my God, hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find this thing and I gotta wait till it pop away. Okay. So he announced this in 1991 on November the 7th. Then he turned around and came back to the Lakers as a coach and played. So you mean to tell me, was a coach doing demonstrations and stuff? Nobody wasn't afraid then he might scratch against some stuff. So this tells me right then that they all are full of BS. Because if he can go and play like that, they could have done the same thing for Kyrie Irving. There's other roles he could have been. They could have had him as a trainer, a mentor, or something. If they were so scared that he can't play, man, this is what irks me. You don't have no freedom. Y'all shut the door, please. You don't have no freedom. Stop. No freedom at all now. You'll have no freedom to make a free will of choice. And then they get mad when people like myself call it out. And I still say Stephen A is definitely wrong. You're mad because he's not playing for your team. Because you're not saying you're upset because he's not trying to get information about what's really going on. What making him decide not to do it? You're upset because he's not playing for your team, the Brooklyn Nets. Well, when he's not around, the chemistry up. Okay, so if he's not around, the chemistry up, and the team plays better statistically, then why in the world are you worried about it? Or should be worried about it? You should be pushing to trade him. Sounds real goofy to me, but that's how I feel. I'm going to proceed on. And next thing, before I go to the next topic, guys, talking about some of the MMA and boxing world, we're going to take a quick break right quick because I gotta take a quick union break. So hold on tight. Don't go nowhere. We finna take a quick community break. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about the delay. Had to take a little union break right quick. So we about to finish up the rest of this broadcast, and we're going to talk about what is going on with the MMA, what happened, latest fights, how everything went, and what we should look at now. So as I go on into it, UFC Fight Night, we're going to talk about who won and who lost. So let me get the scores here. See if we can get this pulled up. Computer freezing, y'all. Give me a moment. Really? All right. Let's see. All right, let's go see what how everything turned out. So the UFC Fight Night, it wasn't the main card, but Aspen Ladd falls flat in the featherweight debut with a loss to Norman Dumont. Now, what it reads is it isn't the way things always seem to play out in mixed martial arts. Fans got hyped to watch one of the sport's most enduring stars perform in this case, former women's bantamweight champion Misha Tate, but it turned into a letdown when she ended up having to pull out weeks before the UFC fight night main event after she contracted COVID-19. Now, Tate was replaced by another ex-champion in the main event, but before fans could get their hopes too high, Harlem Home was forced to pull out of her fight against Norma Dumont due to injury. So into Aspen Ladd. She's fresh off a bantamweight fight canceled just 2 weeks ago after she missed weight, making her featherweight debut. The UFC ended up with a title with a third fiddle main event slated for the same night as Bellator 268 in Phoenix, as MMA's second tier promotion featured the two semifinals of the country's glittery light heavyweight world Grand Prix. One of them a title fight, and the other involving the reigning champ at heavyweight. But let's talk about the Ladd and Dumont, who put on a performance for the ages. There were no storybook ending. There was a bedtime story. Dumont did perform excellent in winning a unanimous decision in this snoozer of a main event at UFC Apex. But even in the dominating for her third straight victory, the 31-year-old Brazilian did nothing to suggest that she could make the featherweight champ Amanda Nunes break a sweat. If Nunes was watching the fight in her Florida home, one hopes she was holding her baby in her arms, because that would have made bedtime in the Nunes household a piece of cake. This fight was not an advertisement for a rejuvenated women's featherweight division. It was a lullaby. It was supposed to be a last showcase. Really, Who gets put in a main event 2 weeks after missing weight and have a fight canceled? The UFC characteristically forgiven with her, perhaps because the company was hoping to finally have a 145-pound contender to throw in with the champ. But as it stands, the featherweight division is basically a mirage. Nunes also reigns and mostly fights at bantamweight, and there are particularly no 145-pound contenders on the roster to chase her. But given the chance to step up in a major way, Lyle did next to nothing. It was certain, not Dumas' fault, that in round one, Ladd landed 3 strikes. In round two, she connected with the fourth. Ladd spent those first 10 minutes and much of the 15 that remained plodding stiffly in front of her opponent, sleepwalking. Between rounds, as she sat in her corner and her coach yelling at her, Ladd wore a gaze look as if hypnotized. And even during the 5 minutes between those breaks when the fight was supposed to be taking place, the 26-year-old Californian looked it only slight more awake. Dumas, who recorded her third straight win, might be the next woman up for a 145-pound title shot after her third straight win. But after this loss, it's back to the drawing board as Ladd searches for a way to get back on track. A lot of people can say that fight, what I've seen in the reviews, I can't play it because ESPN will ding me. I think that basically this girl wasn't ready. Sometimes you can get in a fight so soon and you think that you can pull it off, and it didn't happen. I think that Ladd just jumped in there and did not know how to handle somebody like Dumont. Dumont was ready, prepared. She knew what she wanted to do. Now, the heavyweights that went down last night as well. Andre Arlovski defeated Carlos Felipe by unanimous decision. Now, Arlovski made his pro debut in MMA in 1999 when Felipe was 4 years old. Arlovski became UFC champion, heavyweight champion in 2005 on a card headlined by the Tito Ortiz versus Victor Belfort. The man known as the Pit Bull has fought in the UFC 36 times, third most in company history behind Jim Miller, and made his record 38 octagon appearance in the fight right before in Donald Cerrone. And I thought he had retired. But when this fight began, however, Arlovski looked like a young man, bouncing lightly as he peppered the plotting Felipe with punches and kicks. As the 3 rounds were on, though, the 42-year-old Arlovski slowed down and became more hittable. But by that point, Felipe 26 was tired as well, so the fight made it the final horn, at which Arlovski got his hand raised. All 3 judges scored the fight 29-28. Arlovski, a Belarusian who fights out of Coconut Creek, Florida, has won 4 of his past 5. His past 8 wins come by decision. Felipe, who is from Brazil, saw a 3-fight winning streak come to an end. So to me, I don't know. I seen the fight. I think Andre should have won because for an old guy, he did keep up. But I didn't know Andre was that old. I didn't know he had started that long ago. I know he's been in there for a hot minute. Now, lightweight Jim Miller, he defeated Eric Gonzalez by second round KO. Nearly 40 fights into his UFC run, Miller is still winning fights and added to his arsenal. Miller stopped Gonzalez via knockout 14 seconds into the second round with a vicious left hand. Miller was landing that big left at the end of the first round too, but Gonzalez survived the first encounter. He was not able to do that in the second round as Miller absolutely folded him up. It was Miller's first KO TKO since UFC 200. against Takanori Gumi in July 2016, and by simply fighting on Saturday, Miller took over sole possession of the record for the most fights in UFC history, which is 38. Old dog, new tricks, Miller said in his post-fight interview. Got a KO. So, Gonzalez did his thing, but you're dealing with a guy who, when you're dealing with Miller, Miller is a different breed of fighter. Now we got another women's flyweight. Manning Fioret defeated Mara Bruno Silvia. Now, Fioret crushed her 8th straight victory by basically doing what she does in the ring, hit the immobile heavyweight bag again and again. Her opponent employed an interesting strategy. Buena Sylvia stood in front of Fury for much of the fight's 15 minutes, took a combination of punches to the head, shook her noggin to indicate the punches had not hurt her, then stood there to get hit in the head again, and Fury was happy to oblige again and again. Fury, who is 31 and from France, got the nod from all judges, who scored the fight 30-26, 30-27, 30-27. By throwing around 100 shots in every round, while many were blocked by Bueno Sylvia's high guard. With their battered, bloody face by the end, Fury also landed a couple of takedowns and threatened a submission in round 3 of an incredible one-sided fight. Bueno Sylvia had just one win in her past 4 fights. So what happened is, Bueno Sylvia, it seems like it to me, in that fight, I looked at the film, she got a little cocky. You fighting somebody, you can't just let them keep hitting you in the head. You got to be a solid type of person. I mean, for real. Got to be solid. Got to be solid. I mean, you just can't. Got to be solid. Then there was Nate Landwehr. He defeated Ludovic Klein in a 3rd round submission. Bruno Silva in the middleweight division defeated Andrew Sanchez by 3rd round knockout. Welterweight Danny Roberts defeated Ramazan Emeev by split decision. Women's flyweight Luana Carolina defeated Lupe Godinez in a unanimous decision. And in men's bantamweight, Dana Batista defeated Brandon Davis. Strawweight, Arian Carnelasi defeated Estela Nunes. So that's how it's been. I mean, this was a jam-packed night. These are the results. Shout out to the MMA community. They're doing their thing. As always, I'm going to check and see if there are any other major fights that's supposed to be coming up. I really don't see any. But that's about it. So that what happened in the main event. So if anybody got any questions, comments, please jump in the comment section. Do me a favor, hit that like button, that subscribe button, hit that notification bell up top. This is all of sports news, All American Sports News. This is your host, Joel Davis. Y'all know how I do. I'm out.